All right, my friends, we're going to do a review of Fisher Investments with my man Ken Fisher. Yeah, I'm sure you're familiar with Fisher Investments all over the internet, man. You can't step anywhere without seeing Ken Fisher. Is nuts. In Gmail on your Google, if you have a Gmail account, he'll be advertised. He's everywhere. He's on the TV. I just saw him the other day, and I don't even watch any TV, and he was on there. Nuts. It's crazy. So Ken Fisher, Fisher Investments. Let's talk about them. I just did a thing on Edelman Financial. I just did a thing on oh man, what 11, 12 different financial advisory firms through NAPFA. And let's see if Fisher does anything differently. Now, Ken Fisher, you know him as the I hate annuities guy. I mean, he's a marketing genius. Look, I'm a fan of Ken. He's a capitalist the way it's supposed to be. Free market capitalism, not a corporatist, is a capitalist. And I like that. He doesn't apologize for capitalism. And I think that's wonderful. I wish more business owners, wealthy business owners, would not apologize for capitalism, because capitalism is a wonderful, wonderful economic system that has risen so many people out of poverty, of nepotism, mercantilism, never mind socialism, and heaven forbid communism. Capitalism is wonderful, and Fisher and Ken does not apologize for that. Now, with that said, he does have a firm. He manages money. He makes a lot of money managing money. The question is, has he made people money for the fees he charges? And I frankly just don't know. I don't know the answer. But I remember coming across Ken probably in the late '80s, man. On I didn't know. I'm sure in the early '90s. I think I got my first subscription to Forbes. 92, 93, something like that. And I started reading Ken. But I remember watching with my dad, Lou Rukeyser on Wall Street Week. I could have sworn Ken Fisher was on there, and I just remember maybe not. I think he was. Anyway, either late '80s or early '90s. I know for a fact it's the early '90s. I've always been a fan of his in terms of his writing, his investment ideas and stuff. Fisher Investments. I don't know anyone who works there. I do have a couple clients that had accounts with or had with Fisher. None of them were upset by Fisher Investments. I mean, some were, they thought the fees were a little bit too high, but none were felt like it was a bait and switch. They got sold a bill of goods. They were all happy with the client service, all happy with the level of just the reaching out. The guys at Fisher Investments reaching out for sure. All were pleased. It's just a matter of the performance. That's the thing, when you're selling performance, you're renting money, and if the performance dies off for a reason, and people are still paying you a fee, those people are going to say, "Wait, why am I paying you a fee? This performance hasn't been what I expected." And that, you don't want to be involved in that if you're an advisor. You don't want to rent money. You want to tell people on the front end, you're going to pay this fee, and this is what you're getting for it through thick and thin, and let the client decide on the front end. Because if you're renting money, the money will leave you the minute the performance underwhelms. So I've had a number of people, and this one guy I met out of I think La Jolla, California, and he had a not a huge portfolio for the the people Ken Fisher the Fisher Investments swim with. It's probably 750, and he was happy with Fisher Investments. I mean, he said they call him up, they invite him to seminar, all kinds of stuff, and again, he was relatively small fish in the Ken Fisher pond, so that's good. Um, Ken Fisher's he knows marketing, so when he says I hate annuities, he knows he's going to get arrows from all kinds of annuity guys, and he does, and he says, look, I don't hate SPIAs, which are income annuities. I just hate variable annuities because no one can follow them. The fees are too high. Man, I completely agree with that. 100%, 100% agree in that regard. But at the end of the day, you can't say I hate annuities except for this, that, and the other. That no one. You got to do it quick. You got to make. Whoa, what is he talking about? And so he does that. But if you listen to him, he does not say he hates annuities. Just everything. He just can't stand income annuities. No, he can't stand variable annuities. All right. Now, Fisher, though, they're an investment firm, first and foremost. Just got to be advised. They are an investment firm. They will run your money with investment counselors. So who those investment counselors, like any big firm, they're going to pick one for you. You can't choose them. In fact, I bet we can find who their investment counselors are here. I bet they're just, let's see, about us. See if we can see, like, choose who you want to work with. I bet not. Locations. Let's see if we can see. Yeah, so let's just look at this one at we'll say Woodside, California. Who's the guy and the lady that works there, and they don't say it. So it's kind of like the Edelman. You don't know who you're gonna be working with, and I don't like that so much. But I don't know why they can't say here's Joe, here's Jane, here's Bob, here's Sue. I don't know why they can't do that. But these big firms, Vanguard, you know who's going to be. Fidelity, you don't know who's going to be. Maybe, no, I don't think you do. Edelman, you don't. whatnot. Hell, USA, you don't. One thing I don't like about now, this is something I want to warn you of. Anytime you see careers front and center, just that's not going to be a lower. It's going to be a huge firm. They're looking for financial advisors they can bring on board in order to grow the firm, so the principals can get more money. Look, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're looking at that one-on-one level advice with someone whose heart and soul is into the firm, you're not going to get it at a place like Fisher or Edelman. These are just people with a job. They're financial advisors. Look, I got no problem with it. I know tons of them. I was one. But that's their job. Their job is to do financial planning for 8 hours a day and then leave. It's not their bread and butter. It's not their baby. And so what happens here is they have a careers thing, and all these firms will have that. They're just trying to bring on new advisors. New advisors means new opportunity to get new clients and new fees. And if those advisors leave because they find a better gig at Fidelity or Charles Schwab, Fisher and Schwab and whatnot, they still retain the clients. And so I'm just telling you right now, if you want more of a one-on-one personal relationship with someone you can sit across the desk from, if they have a careers on front and center on the front page of the website, stay away. I'm just telling you, if it's a registered investment advisor and Jane has started and built it from scratch, she will not have a thing that says careers in there on the front end. She just won't. Her bread and butter is in her RIA, registered investment advisor firm. That's her son. And just like a mama bear, she's going to protect that son like you cannot believe. And so because of that, she's just not trying to get all kinds of people in to work at her firm. That's not what she wants to do. Now, when she needs somebody, she'll make a heavy effort to recruit that person, but she's not going to put a careers thing on there. This is just, I hate to say multi-level marketing, horizontal level marketing, I guess. We're saying we're up here, we're trying to make it wider, the horizontal marketing, so that way more people out there selling our services. It means more clients come in to pay a fee and more heads up here. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just telling you, if it says careers, you're not going to get the level of commitment to your individual situation as you will if it's someone's own firm. That's for sure. Now, obviously, there are exceptions to every rule. All right, so let's see. Why Fisher? Who we are. Your investment team. Okay, so we know Ken Fisher. Transparent fees. So let's click on this. I'm hoping that the fees will be stated because they're supposedly transparent. Okay. Say at Fisher Investments, we've been a fee-only advisor for 4 decades. We offer a simple, transparent fee structure based on the size of your portfolio. We understand that fees can present. Many charge commissions. Okay. Commissions, they don't do commissions. Account fee, so they don't. I don't get it. I mean, they said transparent fees, but they don't tell me what the fees are. I just don't get that, man. Client education, quarterly reviews, capital market update videos, marketminder.com. Okay. 15-minute retirement plan. I see, and anytime I see something like that, I'm not a fan of that idea. 15-minute retirement plan. That retirement plan, if it's only taking 15 minutes, it's not worth it. It's just not worth the bytes that you're using on the internet. Experienced management team. Let's see if they show who these guys. Ken Fisher. Yep. Okay. All right. So again, they're just showing the executives, just like Edelman did. It's almost like Edelman's kind of cherry picking off these guys. Your investment team. Let's take a look at same people. Okay. Yeah, that's not what I want. All right. Service model. Staying in touch. You'll hear a lot from financial firms about excellent client service. In reality, the quality of client service varies widely across the industry, and I agree with that. At Fisher Investment Services, one of our most important core values. Staying in touch. Leaving the workforce is a big step. Yeah, I mean, from what my experience is, the Fisher folks do stay in touch. I mean, again, I have anecdotal evidence. I can't state that specifically, but I hear that they are talked to a lot for sure. Helping you connect. Yeah, they do lots of seminars. They do reach out. So yeah, I actually think that's right. Let's see here. Established performance history. Let's take a look. More important than past performance. Okay, so high touch service. All right, so they, the Morningstar Mirage. Actually, I've done a couple of videos and a couple of blog posts about why you should invest in Morningstar highly ranked funds. So I'm not sure what it's a Wall Street Journal study. And actually, that Wall Street Journal study, Morningstar hammered them for that. They said, man, you guys are misleading everybody. I'll never forget reading that thing. It was a big debate 2 years ago between Wall Street Journal and Morningstar. And I think the Wall Street Journal did a disservice to Morningstar right here. Take, for example, the findings of Wall Street Journal investigation into the performance of mutual funds rated by Morningstar. Of funds awarded a coveted 5-star rating, only 12% did well enough over the next 5 years to turn a top rating for that period. 10% performed so poorly that they're branded with a rock bottom 1-star rating. The journalist analysts found that most 5-star funds perform better than lower rated funds, yet on the average, 5-star funds eventually turn, on average, 5-star funds eventually turn to merely ordinary performance. Now, what happened was the Wall Street Journal, now remember, in Morningstar, 12.5% of the top funds get the 5-star rating. I mean, 12% of all funds get the 5-star rating. So I think it's 22.5, 22.5, 22.5, 22.5, and then 12.5. So literally, to be in the top 5-star fund, only 12.5% are being are in there to begin with. That means that you have to do significant, real good work, which is luck, to stay in there. But the irony of it all is that, yeah, some of the funds, most of the funds did not stay in the top 5, but they did stay in the top 4, the 4-star rated funds. Absolutely. That's what Morningstar said. Wait a second. We never said they're going to stay in the top 5, the 5-star, but they have stayed in the top 4, or the 4 or 5-star rule. The vast majority of them. And the reason for that is fees. So the Wall Street Journal thing was completely misleading because they're saying they were making it sound like they didn't stay in the 5-star funds. Well, it's hard to get in the 5-star to begin with. But if you can stay in the 4 and 5, that means you're beating the vast majority of the rest of your competition out there. And they were. I'm telling you, you can look at my own blog. I've done research on this myself. And I just don't know why the Wall Street Journal was doing that. I kind of do, because the Wall Street Journal gets paid advertising money from active fund firms. All right, so nothing here. I'm not a big fan of what we're seeing in terms of just nothing. I mean, they're not selling us anything. They're just saying we invest money. Financial... Why Fisher Investments Financial? See, that's another thing I hate about when you have investments in your term, your name of your business. You're focused on investments. You're kind of using financial planning as an afterthought. And financial planning should take priority. Absolutely. We provide an asset management strategy. Well, that's no big deal. We help understand your legacy and how to ensure your wishes are met in the future. We educate you in financial planning topics like Social Security. Secondly, and importantly, because of the things we don't do, we don't sell annuities. We don't receive referral fees from other professionals. I actually like that. I think that gets overlooked a lot by some of the other folks out there that get referral fees from Schwab, from TD Ameritrade. I'm not a big fan of that at all. And I actually like Fisher not doing that. I bet Edelman does not do that. That's why they aligned with Financial Engines. That would kind of be their internal referral fee. But Schwab does that. They give referral fees to other approved vendors. TD Ameritrade does as well. So how do you become an approved vendor? You think it's by not charging high or giving Schwab money to be on that? I guarantee you become a preferred vendor by showing them the dollars without question. So I know that's the way it works. And again, you can't blame Schwab. But we're setting, again, more levels and levels of fees that are coming from your money. So you got to pay Schwab. You got to pay the guy that Schwab refers you to. You got to pay the money managers. You got to pay. So I'm not a fan of that. We don't charge you confusing, ongoing, or hourly fees to produce your financial plan. Yeah, because they're charging an asset under management fee, but we don't know what it is. And so that's your retirement planning. It doesn't, or financial planning. Let's see, financial planning. It doesn't say much there, including your investment goals. Does your plan answer the basic questions about? See, does your plan answer the basic questions you have around retirement? Oh boy, my friends, your retirement plan is anything but basic. It might be basic to the good folks at Fisher or Edelman, Schwab, all these guys, but when it comes to Josh and Charlotte Scanlon, my retirement plan is complex. It's complex, and it needs to be looked at complex. So if we're only answering your basic stuff, that's not enough. Is your plan personalized to your situation? Does your plan address key financial planning subject? Is your plan easy to understand and act on? So we believe successful plan. Well, they do talk about personal powers of attorney. I like that. Access to professional resources with, okay. So I'm not sure how that works here. Social Security benefit. I mean, I don't know. That's good. Um, all right, so it looks like at least they address some of the issues I like. Estate planning using your will, trust, and power of attorney. I like that. Capital gains R&D guidance. Yep. Social Security benefit optimization. Yep. Perspective. That doesn't mean much, but I mean, okay. At least they're saying some things I like. Let's see. All right, that's good. Tools and calculators. And again, they don't say fees, though, man. All right, so we're going to go one other thing 401k, annuity calculator, retirement calculator. Let's take a look at the retirement calculator. It's like one of those from okay. Yeah. It didn't do anything. All right, so let's just lastly, let's see here. We're going to go to disclosures, and this should tell us their fees. Copyright. It got to be the SEC, yeah, right there. All right, so you're always looking at the SEC ADV form, my friends. SEC ADV, and you got to click on this guy, the Investment Advisor Public Disclosure website, and I got type it in, huh? Fisher Investments. Oh, that's kind of frustrating. I can't believe they don't take it. I mean, just why they got to make it so hard? Fisher Asset Management, is that it? Yeah, I think it is. All right, so let's bring this guy up and see what they charge. I don't know why they don't just give you a link directly to their thing. That's what everybody else does. I mean, I'm stunned that they don't do that, actually. It's nuts. So let's gonna go to their part 2 right there. So they're their private client group, Fisher Investments. For the love of me, I don't know why they just don't provide the link there. That's nuts. Fees and compensation, page 5. Let's see. All right, so this might be boring to you, but this is where it all starts, my friends. All right, so they manage $96 billion of assets, of which 55, is that billion or million? 100,000? Yeah, billion, of which 55 billion is private clients and 40 billion is institutional. And this is what they charge. I mean, it's pretty. I don't know why they just don't put why. Why not just put this out there? Everybody else charges the same thing. So they charge 1.25% on the first million, 1.125% on the next, and 1% on anything over $1 million. That's an equity. On bonds, they charge 75 basis points on the first 5 million. And let's see. And I'm hoping they have a minimum of a bond fee of looks like $500,000 in bonds. So that's pretty good. I don't have any problem buying individual. I presume they're buying individual bonds here. I don't know, but that's not bad. I mean, if you get an individual bond portfolio by a brokerage firm at 75 basis points, that's not bad. Would I do that or a mutual fund that's 15 basis points? Well, the way the rates are now, I'd probably do a mutual fund, frankly. But yeah, I mean, that's not bad, man. Now, if I had 10 million bucks and I don't have 10, what's that? I don't have 100% of 10 million bucks. 50 basis points for bond portfolio, that's still pretty good, but I bet you could get a whole lot cheaper from other firms, that's for sure. All right, so there you go. That's Fisher for you. So they charge, what is that, 1.5 or 1.25? Is that what we saw? 1.25 on the first million, 1.125 on the next, 4 million and 1%. So not cheap. Is their performance good? I have no idea at all, frankly. And I look, I'm telling you, don't get caught up in performance. It just doesn't matter. I mean, yes, performance matters, but everyone's going to be roughly around the same thing. That's all there is to it. The number one way to increase your performance, I hate to say it, is to eliminate these fees, without question. So that's my review of Fisher. Would I invest in it? No, I just don't see the value. I mean, I don't see the value. I just don't. I mean, I just don't see it. I would much rather pay a guy $1,500 to $2,500 a year to do financial planning, to look at my 1040, to look at my end of year statements, so to see if there's tax consequence in there, and keep my stuff at Vanguard. I'd much rather do that than pay these guys 1% or 1.25% on my $1 million. I just don't see the value, especially when you're not you don't have access to a local guy that you can talk to on a regular basis. I just don't see it. But that's my opinion. By all means, 90 billion other dollars don't agree with me, and that's fine. But yeah, I hope this helps. We'll see you next time. Thanks now.